Hi everyone, I hope you guys are all having a good day so far. Today we're going to be going over the angle addition part 2, angle addition postulate part 2. So now for today, first let's go over one example and then we're going to go over the general strategy for how to solve these type of problems. So let's look at the problem. Number 1, find measurement of CDG if measurement of CDG is equal to 8x, measurement of angle GDE is equal to 120 degrees, and measurement of CDE is equal to 24x plus 8. So the first thing that I want to emphasize is that what we are looking for is this part. So find measurement of CDG. And then we're also given that CDG, or the measurement of CDG, is equal to 8x. So let's see where that is. So we have C right here, and then we have D. So CDG will be this part, and it's going to be 8x, right? Now we are also given that measurement of angle GDE. So GDE will be this angle, and that's equal to 120. And the last thing that we are given is that CDE, or in other words, the larger angle, the one that covers both angles. So in other words, if I add the two smaller angles, I get the last angle, which is CDE. I'm going to go ahead and make a different diagram over here. Let's make it straight. So something like this. It has a little curvature. So something like that. So, and then this would be C. This would be D. And then this is E. And basically we're saying that from here to here, that's going to be 24x plus 8. So let's go ahead and set up our equation. Using these three expressions, we can go ahead and come up with the following equation. Remember, angle addition tells us that the sum of the two smaller ones is equal to the larger one. So 8x plus 120 has to be equal to, let's make this in white, equal to in this case 24x plus 8. And then if we go ahead and look at the equation, we can tell that this is going to be an equation in which we only have one variable. Therefore, we can solve for that variable, being x. So if we go ahead and solve for x, we first have to go ahead and move all the variables to one side. So notice that we have 8x on this side, and then we have 24 on that side. That's not going to help. So we need both of them to be on the same side. So I can either move the 8x to the side that has the 24, or I can move the 24 to the side that has the 8. In this case, I'm going to opt for the second option. So I'm going to move the 24x. So to move the 24x, I first have to get rid of it on the right. So to get rid of it on the right, we do the inverse operations. So instead of having a positive 24x, I'm going to go ahead and subtract both sides by 24x. So this is going to be minus 24x, minus 24x, and this is going to give me 8 on this side, and on the other side we have negative 16x plus 120, right? So now if you look at the question, negative 16x plus 120 equal to 8 is just basically a two-step equation. A two-step equation in which we first have to get rid of the 120 and then divide by negative 16. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract by 120. That's going to give me negative 16x is equal to negative 112. And like I said before, we would have to get rid of the negative 16. So we do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And our final answer is equal to 7. Now, is this it? Am I done? Did I answer the question? Well, some of you are going to say yes, some of you are going to say no. And let's figure out which one's correct. So the question was asking, if you guys remember at the beginning of the problem, it says find the measurement of CDG. did we find the measurement of CDG? In reality, we did not. We only found the value of x. Remember, CDG is equal to 8x. So my last step is actually to substitute the x into the equation that I have here. So I'm asked to find the measurement of CDG. And I'm going to put it here. The measurement of angle, what was it? CDG is equal to 8x. Now I know that x is equal to 7, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to substitute. So measurement of angle CDG is equal to 8. And in this case, I'm going to put 7 instead of x because that's what I found x to be. And my answer is therefore going to be measurement of angle CDG is equal to 56. And this one I would have to add degrees because it is an angle measure. So in other words, if I were to use a protractor, this angle is 56 degrees. Okay? And that's pretty much it. So let's go over what we did and apply it to question number 2. So the first thing that we did is set up our equation, which was this part. The second thing we did was to go ahead and find x, which is right here. And our last thing was to substitute that x into my final expression to figure out what the measure of angle CDG is. So I'm going to summarize it and come up with a general strategy. So this is the strategy I'm going to use. Strategy. First thing you have to do is solve for x, or figure out what x is. 2, find, so in this case we're asked to find the measurement of angle CDV by substituting the value of x. Okay, so let's go over each one of these steps. So let's go over step number 1. So step number 1 is to solve for x. So to solve for x, we first have to come up with an equation. So let's see. Let's color this. Let's make CDV red. So CDV is also right here. So this one's going to be red. And that's going to be CDV. And that's going to be this angle. And that's going to be 16x plus 2. And then we're also given VDE. VDE, that would be this angle. And this is 46 degrees. And the larger angle, CDE, which looks something like this. CD. Now let's actually make it more scale. So if you guys notice, 46, I mean, it doesn't look exactly like a straight line. So I'm going to try to match it, something like that. I'm making it a little bit more exaggerated, but hopefully you get the point. C, D, E. And then this measure is 23x minus 8. So the equation is going to be, adding these two together has to be equal to the larger angle. Because remember, angle addition postulate tells us that the sum of the parts is equal to the whole. So my equation is going to become 16x plus 2, and then plus 46 is equal to, and in this case it's going to be 23x minus 8. And we're still in step number 1, which is to solve for x. So let's first simplify my right hand side so I can combine these two numbers. So 16x plus 48 is equal to 23x minus 8 because I can't combine anything on the right hand side. And now we have the same thing that we had on problem number 1, which is we have x's on both sides. So we have to get rid of one of them so that we only have one x on one side. So let's go ahead and pick, it could be either one. So I could either subtract 16x from both sides, or I can subtract 23x from both sides. In this case, I'm going to choose the one on the right hand side, so I'm going to get rid of that one. So minus 23x, minus 23x. Oh, I went to below. So this is going to become, well, these are going to cancel out. Now also notice that in this case I have to put minus because my number is positive. But if it were negative, I would have to put addition because we're looking for the opposites or the inverse. So this is going to give me 7x, negative 7x plus 48 is equal to negative 8. You subtract 48 from both sides because now you have a two-step equation. So these two are going to cancel out. You have negative 7x is equal to negative 56. And therefore, we divide by negative 7 because we want to get rid of multiplication. These two cancel out. X is equal to 8. Now, is that my answer? And no, this is not, because remember, they're not asking us for the value of x. They're asking us for this part. They're asking us to find the measurement of CDV. So we have to go to step number 2. Step number 2, measurement of angle CBD. So it says find the measure of CBD by substituting the value of x. So CBD is over here as well, and 16x plus 2. So the problem tells us that this is equal to 16x plus 2. And then all I have to do is substitute the value that I got for x. So x is going to go here. So 8 is going to go there, basically. And this is going to give me measurement of angle CBD is equal to 16 parentheses 8, which is what I got for my x, and then plus 2. And I just keep on writing the same thing on the left. And it's going to be 128 plus 2 because 16 times 8 is 128. And my final answer is CBD is equal to 130.